Raven's Daughter and the Wolf. There once was a girl, of beauty unmatched. She was Raven's daughter, and her long black hair danced in the wind like a snake through grass. As she grew, so did a madness about her. The men of her tribe were forced, again and again, to chase off raiders and thieves. Those of other tribes flooded in, and a war followed every summer the child enjoyed. When she was old enough to wed, she learned of the scalps taken in her honor. She wept. The horror her tears brought to the men of every tribe ceased the battle, and she made a promise to them.
One day, I will find a quest for the man who will be my husband to achieve. It is a vow before the gods and the earth.
And there was peace for a time. In the bright day, as a raven's daughter picked berries and wandered the great fields, a man came to her. He was swift of foot, a hunter, renowned amongst all the tribes of the land. He had crept silently upon her. His hunt for the biggest prize of all would soon come to an end. He leapt. His fingers brushed skin like clouds, and the girl laughed as she spun suddenly away. His feet pounded. He was sure to simply catch her. But like the wind she was, only did he ever barely brush her hair or slip by her clothes. She was full grown now, and had made a habit of wandering the fields alone. No beast she knew could catch her quiet feet, and no man she had ever seen could touch her. It seemed to them that she had already made good on her promise. The way she teased and laughed suggested to the men that to catch her was to have her. But no men came that day that the sky was full of glittering stars, that the sun failed to drown. So it was, as Raven's daughter moved through the golden fields, she did not see the mountainous black shadow. My, what a sweet little thing you are. The voice boomed and growled all at once. She turned without a single fear in her heart. There was a wolf. No, there was Wolf himself.
It is an honor to meet the great and mighty wolf,
she said, a bow to show her honest admiration. Are you daft, child? The wolf asked. I smell no fear on you. A long red tongue licked his huge fangs. An evil, over-delighted lust played in his eyes.
Perhaps. What is the pleasure of our meeting?
It is mine to take you.
All men wish for such a thing. But to take one such as I is not so simple,
she giggled. A fierce light was in Wolf's eyes. It said, I am not like them. Do you make the same deal as you have with all men? If I catch you, you are mine.
Why ask when none other has?
The wolf's grin widened. Suddenly, Raven's daughter was afraid.
I thank you for your mercy,
she cried as she fled. In a great bounding dance did she stride across the field. As she slipped into the distant woods far beyond the plains, the wolf howled. His handicap for their game finally over. The sound of rustling grass, the shaking trees in the wind, the rhythmic pounding of wolves' paws, the panting of their breath, desperate and longing. Through the woods she fled, under branch and great root, around stone and over stream. Trees shattered into splintering bursts of wood. Branches as large as men were tossed like leaves before a tornado. Whole trees followed as the thundering wolf tossed them aside with his snout. Raven's daughter's fear grew with each splintered branch. A demonic visage seemed to have possessed the wolf, full of hate and wrath, yet seemingly empty but for lust. The two emotions simultaneously existed to their fullest, simultaneously devouring and overpowering the other. She rushed through thorns and brambles beyond the wood. She was like a rabbit there, through the smallest cracks of the tangled mess. A great mountain rose before her. The wolf burst from the wood as she started on the steep slopes. His bulk and weight was sure to slow him on the steep slope of the mountain. Thorns snapped, and brambles stretched till they broke. To the mountain he came. As she reached its peak, he shoved his paws down at the base, and the mountain knelt before him. The steep slope diminished to a gentle rise. A new cliff formed on the other side. Raven's daughter gasped, eyes wide. She scrambled down the cliff. Surely the wolf could not follow her down such a fall. So light was she that the far river was no obstacle. She ran across the water. The mountain now loomed over. Wolf leapt from the top of the cliff and came crashing to the ground. He bounded at the impact and splashed in a spluttering mess at the river's bank. Raven's daughter couldn't help it, and she snorted. The growl was the rumbling of the earth. It was the roar of the greatest of waterfalls. It was the boom and the flash of lightning. It was primal majesty, bent on evil. Its mere utterance felled Raven's daughter to her knees in fright. She crawled forward, then sprang up. She begged the wind as she ran. She begged it to spread a message across all the lands.
I am chased by a wolf, and whoever slays it is my husband.
Great whoops sounded in every village. Warriors and hunters alike stormed forth by the thousand, each man mad with love and lust in his heart. They stormed forth to meet the wolf. Arrows returned the stars to a night sky. Fields of grass became fields of fletching. The men screamed. The wolf's teeth gnashed. His claws raked. The wolf grew larger as spines of wood grew from every free patch of fur. Men let out wretched cries of shock as they were torn into minced soup. Raven's daughter fell, her eyes wide with horrible understanding. The piles of dead grew and grew. Then, like it was some crude throne, did Wolf sit atop his conquest. He shook himself, and the arrows fell from him like rain. He sat and sneered. All the warriors of the land, and this is the sum of their efforts. He licked a single tiny drop of golden blood from his cheek. It filled his mouth and made it gleam golden light as the sun set behind him. Tears fell then as understanding finally came to Raven's daughter. She had killed them, led all the warriors and all the hunters to their deaths, with an ultimately empty promise. The wolf took her then, took her with a fervor and a passion he never had before. She gave herself to him, in the hopes that no more pain would come from her actions, as a weird form of penance. There, in the throes of wolf's passions, she touched his heart with a gentle hand, and he was conquered. If you enjoy my storytelling, please like and subscribe. If you have something to say, please leave a comment, and don't forget to hit that cursed little bell.